Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. As Giants fans, we should be very excited for the future of this team. We won a playoff game. We found our franchise quarterback. We have a defensive line for the ages. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Who knows? It could be this year, maybe not. It's going to be next year. It's going to be the year after that. Daniel Jones has displayed the whole season, besides probably for week one, that he is the franchise quarterback. He deserves to come back, and he deserves to come back on a 5-year contract worth like $120 million or more. I mean, I'll try to work on like something that like might be close to that deal or some sort of contract. But as Giants fans, we should be excited, and the debate should just be over. He's the only quarterback out of that draft class that has won a playoff game. Kyler Murray, which was thought to be the best quarterback and maybe the most talented quarterback, which he still is probably not the best quarterback. He might be the most talented, most gifted. I don't think he's the best quarterback, and I think Daniel Jones proved that. This whole season, Kyler Murray has never had a season like Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones might not have the big pass numbers or the pass touchdowns. He hasn't had any receivers. I mean, remember the 1 week he had Marcus Johnson. That was the starting receiver that we signed, and he wasn't very good. We've seen that he dropped touchdowns and stuff. Like, he wasn't very great. And then we brought in Isaiah Hodgins in November, and then he started performing. He got a little comfortable with the team. Now look at him. He might have a future star on this team. I mean, could very much end up being a really good player for us. He could be a starter next year. There's nothing that says he can't. I think we're on the right path. I think this team it's just exceeded all the expectations, proved all doubters wrong. The New York Giants football is back, and I am just like, I couldn't be more excited about it. We're gonna get into a little more right now about how Daniel Jones is just more that he's proved. He's the first quarterback in history with 300 passing yards, 300 plus passing yards, 2 plus passing touchdowns, and 70 rushing yards in a single playoff game. Yet no other quarterback's done it. It might sound like one of those stats, but that ESPN just puts out there, but it's really not. I mean, it's a pretty impressive stat. I mean, this guy, everybody thought it'd be okay. We're gonna do the ball Saquon like 30 times. Saquon only carried the ball 9 times, and 3 of those runs were like stuffed at the line. Saquon was a big factor in the passing game. He had some great catches. He was gotten in space a lot. I think for the Eagles, the game plan might be a little different because the Vikings' passing defense isn't very great. That's something we could take advantage of, like last game, which we did, and we won. Daniel Jones, I mean, you can't say enough good things. I don't think he had a single bad play. He didn't miss a single throw. He came out firing on all cylinders first drive. Lets you down there in like 5 plays and like 3 minutes of offense. I mean, we're not used to this. We are not used to this. We have an all-pro left tackle. We have an all-pro defensive tackle. You know, say whatever you want about Dave Gettleman. He is a really bad GM, but the guy knew how to draft. The guy knew how to draft, and I'm kind of glad he picked these players that I wasn't very happy with. Like Andrew Thomas wasn't mad with, but I maybe wanted Tristan Wirfs at the time. But now I'm glad we got Andrew Thomas. That it could have been a better pick. His best pick probably for us in the lot, and probably his tender of the GM of the Giants. And then you got Dexter Lawrence. We traded, which. No one was happy that we traded Odell away, but we got something good out of it. It still sucks that we had to trade him, but we got a future. We got the foundational piece of this defense, and Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to only get better. So we got those 2 guys for the long run, and hopefully Azeez Ojulari could stay healthy next year because then we'll really have something going. Leonard Williams, his contract's a little expensive. It's $32 million cap hit. I think we're gonna extend him to where we could balance out the cap space and keep him longer term instead of I think this would be his last year in his contract. Let me check. Actually, I can check as I'm saying other things. I think we're on the right track here, though. This is Joe Shane, Brian Dable. Could have done it better. I don't think Shane is the executive of the year, but he's done a hell of a good job for his first year. Hold on, while I get up the contract of Leonard Williams. You could talk about that real quick. So, let's see. Let's get his contract up. All right. So, right now we have... All right. So, right now we have Leonard Williams, so I can pull it up here. Let me share my screen. 1 second. I'll eventually get better at this. I'm kind of new to StreamYard. Oh, wrong thing. Let's share my entire screen because I don't really know. So I got his contract pulled up right here. So it's looking like his total cap hit next year is $32 million, and then because we did restructure his contract. Now I remember where we extended him to 2024 almost. We kind of pushed him back. We kind of pushed some money back from I think this year 2022. We pushed $5 million all the way back here. I think that's what Shane did. That was like the last resort, he said. That's what good GMs do. They don't restructure everybody's contract. They either like cut it down or they just don't give him that kind of contract. Which Gettleman did a pretty foolish thing. He kind of traded for Leonard Williams, didn't extend him right away, which didn't really make sense. But kind of glad we got him. But yeah, he's taking up 14% of our cap hit. I mean cap space. You don't want that. I mean, for 20, and then nothing to do with age, but he's not really like the star player on defense or on your whole entire team in the first place. And he's taking up 14% of your cap space. I think something's going to get done. I think he wants to stay with this team, so I'm sure he may want to do a team friendly deal. But I think something's going to get done about this. I don't want to cut him. There's nothing I don't want to cut this guy. I want to keep him around, keep our defensive pieces intact. So yeah, I mean, we found out a lot of things about our team this year. I mean, like you could go back to last year where we were doing 2 QB sneaks and we like, oh man, quarterback, we need a quarterback. We need a head coach, we need all this. We got our head coach, we got our GM, and we got our quarterback. And we have other superstars like Dexter Lawrence and Saquon Barkley. And Torrey Jackson coming back was a pretty big factor. They're like that. I mean, Justin Jefferson had, I think it was 1 catch, either for 4 or 7 yards in the whole fourth quarter, and he didn't do anything in the second half. Really, I mean, I think I think he had 1 catch. We shut down. I mean, like this is just how I think we're finally out of that slump where we're the laughing stock in the NFL. I really think we are. I think we finally arrived. I mean, it's possible to say Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback, but maybe not yet. But I think he is at least. But that might just be my biased Giants fan talking. But this is just I can be more excited, and the Giants are just they're gonna be special. I mean, kind of reminds me a little bit with the Rams and Sean McVay took over. Jared Goff wasn't that great. He he really wasn't. I mean, Sean McVay came in and Jared Goff was a completely different player. He's more confident. He's a better passer, and his numbers improved to where he was an MVP candidate. Brian Dable. I mean, he's not an MVP candidate. Brian Dable, Daniel Jones' numbers have, drastically and like improved. It's crazy. Let's bring up Daniel Jones' numbers, and then we'll compare it to like Josh Allen or whatever. And we see it like just to show like where Brian Dable like works his magic, because like he's really just a great coach. There was a thing where I don't know how it's 100% true, but Brian Dable apparently would give Wink Martindale the plays and to set Daniel Jones up to fail in practice to see if you be under any stress of like failing, and like you'd get into his head mentally to see if he was prepared for like New York. Like New York, because like everybody's all over Daniel Jones. If you guys don't remember, when he was like turning, like when he was not really looking good in like training camp, everybody was like, oh my god, like we're just ready for the draft. And we looked a little better, especially in preseason. The play calling looked way better, but we didn't think we were gonna have a 9-win season. Make the playoffs, win a playoff game. I mean, we finally just turned the curve, and we're finally back to being like relevant. I pull up the Pro Football Reference, and Daniel Jones has 2 nicknames. Danny Dimes or Vanilla Vic? I mean, the guy's only 25 years old as well. I mean, a lot of the reason why people don't like Daniel Jones, turnovers, right? Turnovers. I mean, look at this. This is the second most he's been sacked, but also if you add it in, this is the most games he's played. So it's honestly kind of an improvement because look at this, 14 games this year, and he's played in 16 this year because we're not the last game he didn't play in. And I mean, I guess he's sacked 47 total times at the playoffs, but I mean, even if big improvement from like all these years, like yards a game. I mean, total yards a game. He's like, look at his quarterback rating. I mean, his passer rating, high career high, quarterback rating, career high, 41, 54. Jason Garrett. Look what he did, Brian Dable. Look at that, It's 19% up, and I mean, his sack rate actually went down from his second year, Joe Frage. Game-winning drives, 3 in his whole career coming this year, 5. And he gets to his rushing numbers. I mean, come on. They actually used his legs as a factor where like Jason Garrett was a kind of optional. Like you knew you had this like special talent in running. Look at that. 700 yards. 708 yards and 7 touchdowns. And actually Daniel Jones is I think 7th in most, or no, he's 10th or like 9th in most first downs picked up by running, and Barkley is 7th. So that's our running game is a big factor. I mean, fumbling was an issue. What happened here? 6. And he even improved it last year. But this is also in 16 games. And one of these came off a Hail Mary, and he only lost 3. He only lost 3 fumbles. He played a full season. His durability went up. His passing, his rushing, like everything. And you see some of these throws, you see why they call him Danny Dimes. And you bring up guys like Josh Allen. We bring him up. Josh Allen, I mean, everybody loves Josh Allen. Like arm strength, running, athleticism, he has it all, right? But Daniel Jones is a pretty athletic quarterback. He might not be like Josh Allen, but look at this before Dable. Dable came in. Look at his numbers. Look at that. Instant improvement. You know what I mean? Instant improvement. Yards game went up. Passer rating. It's just everything improved. And then look at the running game. And even though he was a rookie that season, right? But then you can look at, okay, that's his rookie season he improved from. But then you look at where he was turning the ball over, he turned it over less, more games. Seem familiar? And then, I mean, come on. And then this year, he really. So, like, under Brian Dable, it took 2 years to get into his system. And look at these attributes. I mean, come on. Attributes, accolades. Then you go back to Daniel Jones, you see interception rate for Josh Allen, right? And Josh Allen takes more chances, but they're pretty stupid chances. I mean, he's interception rate 3.8 went down to 2, 1.7 was his best, 2.3 and 2.5. Daniel Jones. Let's get the where's his. I mean, even his touchdown percentages were up. His touchdown percentages are the highest since his rookie year, which was 5.2. And then they done Jason Garrett and Joe Judge. It wasn't as high as Brian Dable. And look at his interception rate, 1.1%. He's only turning the ball over. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is tied for like the fewest interceptions, something like that. I think he might have the fewest. I mean, Daniel Jones is here, guys, and I mean that's pretty much all I have for today. But you guys have any questions? Leave it in comments. I have a Twitter. I'll pull it up. So this video is a little long. It's John Koff. It's JKoff12, or you can just look up JPOD-SPORTS. I'm sure it'd pop up. I don't have any followers or anything, but it's got the same logo. You see the logo. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.